Welcome. In this video, we will cover how to use iClicker to run polls and award points for participation. Instructors can sync iClicker participation points to their Bruin Learn course to track overall participation in their class. If you are new to iClicker and haven't set up your iClicker course yet, please visit the links in the video description to learn how to create your iClicker course. Before we dive into creating your first poll to collect participation points, it's important to revisit your iClicker course polling settings to make sure you are awarding points for participation. To log in, go to instructor.iclicker.com and select Sign In through the campus portal. Select the University of California, Los Angeles and click on the Let's Go button. Then sign in with your UCLA logon ID and password. Once you have signed into your iClicker instructor account, click on your iClicker course and select Settings. On the Polling tab, review your polling settings. Under Session Participation, indicate how many points you want to award your students for participating in the class polling session. Then choose how students will earn participation points: by responding to at least one question, 50% of the questions, 75% of the questions, or all questions. Most instructors select the 50% option. You can also decide how you want to award points for performance and responding. Click Save to save your changes. Now that you have set how you plan to collect participation points, you're ready to add polling questions in your slide deck and start running polling activities. The first step in creating a poll begins outside of iClicker with the presentation you plan to share with your students. In your slide deck that you will present in class, you can add any questions for your students. These will be your iClicker polling questions. If you enable the option Send a picture of my screen to student devices, iClicker will capture a screenshot of your slide and share it with your students when you run a polling activity. Your students will be able to view the slide with the question and provide an answer on their device. When thinking about what types of questions to ask your students, keep in mind there are 6 question types in iClicker, including multiple choice, short answer, formula or symbol, numeric, target, and multiple answer. It's important to note that multiple choice and multiple answer questions in iClicker will always have 5 possible answers. You can choose to provide the standard A through D, but an E option will always be available to your students. Students can respond to short answer questions with up to 140 characters. Formula or symbol is similar to numeric and can be used for questions requiring numerical or formulaic responses. Target questions allow a user to provide a response by interacting directly with an image. When using the target question type, the functionality is limited. Users aren't able to zoom in or undo their selection, so we do not recommend using this option for high-stakes questions. And finally, multiple answer is the same as multiple choice, but students can choose more than one option as their answer. Now that you've prepared your polling questions in your slide deck, you're ready to administer it in class. To do this, open the iClicker desktop app from the computer you're presenting from. If you haven't downloaded the iClicker Cloud desktop app, you can find a button in the bottom left of your iClicker Cloud dashboard to do so. Open up the iClicker desktop application and select Sign In through your campus portal. In the Institution drop-down menu, select the University of California, Los Angeles and click on the Let's Go button. Sign in with your UCLA logon ID and password. Once you're logged into the iClicker desktop app, find your iClicker course and click on the Join Code link. For the first few iClicker sessions, it's important to share the join code with your students so that they can easily access your iClicker course and participate in your polling activities. We also recommend sharing it with your students before the first class meeting so they can set up their accounts. When you're ready to begin your polling session, click Start Class. The iClicker instructor tool will appear on your screen and you can click on the roster to see how many students have joined your polling session. You may need to wait a moment for more of your students to join. When you're ready to begin with your polling session, navigate to the question slide you want to use for your iClicker poll. In the iClicker toolbar, select Poll and assign a question type, the same question type you used in your slide. When you're ready to run the poll, click on the green Start button. A window will open, prompting you to determine which screen should be shared with students. Confirm that the screen you choose displays your slides, and then click Select. Students will see your slide with the question and have options for responding. After an appropriate amount of time has passed, or a certain percentage of responses have been received, you can click the red Stop button to close the poll. If you'd like, you can view and share the poll results with your class by selecting Results. You can continue to run additional polls in this same way. When you're ready to end class, you can select the left-facing arrow from the polling menu to return you to the main interface and select the red End button. There is an option to end class with an exit poll if you choose. Otherwise, you can select End Class. It's important to note that the grade sync from iClicker is not automatic. To sync participation points with the Bruin Learn gradebook, you will need to navigate to your iClicker class, select Gradebook from the course navigation, and then Sync Grades. You will need to define which class session you're syncing, and then select Sync again to complete the process. If you navigate to your Bruin Learn course, you should now see the iClicker assignment and columns in your gradebook. You can do this at whatever frequency you choose, but you will want to ensure you have synced points a final time before submitting grades. This concludes the video on using iClicker polling and participation points in Bruin Learn to record attendance. If you require additional assistance, please contact Bruin Learn-support at it.ucla.edu.